ARW Nation, it's the voice, Gregg Allen. We're aboard Victory Casino Cruises right now, and I have a very special interview coming your way, and without any further ado, I'd like to bring him on. He's the fearless leader, the creative genius, the evil mastermind himself. Please welcome fearless leader Alex Red.
Hey buddy.
How are you doing, sir?
That's the best introduction you got?
That's the best I got.
You could do better.
Yeah, well, we'll see.
No, you could do better.
I could.
You will do better.
Okay. Well, let's get down to it.
Sarcasm.
Yeah.
Some people say I'm an asshole, so you know I gotta kind of stick to that.
Rebel.
No bumps. No humps.
I don't take
no bumps, only humps.
I don't take no bumps anyway. But anyway, we have the 2-year anniversary coming up of Atomic Revolutionary Wrestling.
Yeah, we do.
And the first thing I wanted to ask you, because I've done some interviews with you before, but I've never asked you.
If you'd call them interviews.
It's better than what Sean Hawley wrestles, but okay.
He usually comes up short, but continue.
Well, I won't argue with that. What inspired you to start Atomic?
So I'm gonna get a little sappy here and be honest. Like I talked about it and touched on it at the last Atomic show. That back in 2016, I was actually attacked and by some dickhead bass player. I'm not gonna give him credit where it's not due, but I was attacked and nearly lost my life. I spent a week in ICU in Sanford. And oh god, and I had bleeding in 3 spots in my brain. I had a seizure, which I had never had at all in my life, and I was forced to take anti-seizure medication. And I was training at this time at a school out in Orlando. I was training, getting guidance under Sammy Callahan and Teddy Hart, just to name a couple. And I was told that I could no longer compete or wrestle anymore or do any sort of training whatsoever like that, because if I had the slightest false move, something hit on my head, I could die from it. And hearing that kind of news is like really devastating, because I had trained previously. I trained for a small, very, very small period of time back in 2008. It was a very small period of time. By the Dudley Boys out in Kissimmee, but I ended up choosing music ultimately over wrestling, so that's why I stopped it, and I just enjoyed being a fan of it. But I was going to take this serious this time, and unfortunately, bad timing. And when I received the news that I could no longer wrestle, I decided that, well, I grew up watching wrestling with my father. I grew up on ECW, I grew up on WWF. WCW. I watched it all. I just love wrestling. Go to wrestling events all the time, and I thought about it, and I'm like, I think I could bring something to the business that is different, because I've been watching a lot of WWE over the past few years. I'm very loyal. I watch it, and I get very bored. I find myself at events sitting there calling the matches while I'm sitting in the crowd saying, they're going to do this, this, and this, and oh, they're calling for the finish, this person goes over. There's something wrong with that if I can sit in the audience and I can call everything that they're going to do. So the news of being told I can no longer wrestle or compete, to basically wanting to change the business, because I feel like there's been this, I don't know, it's just gotten stale. There's no balls in wrestling anymore. I mean, now things have started to change. There's All Elite Wrestling who, I can't say anything about it because they haven't even had a show yet, but I hope they succeed. That's going to be the closest thing to WCW I ever see happening. TNA started strong and then crashed. So there's a lot of companies that have tried, but I think Atomic is the one that, we call ourselves the new face of Extreme, and I take after Paul Heyman, and I think that that's what's missing in wrestling, so I'm trying to create that. Extreme wrestling. No divas, no egos, just extreme wrestling.
Wow.
Well, sorry for the long response, it's just that there's a lot to that.
No, that's fine. let me ask you this: we're almost here for 2 years of Atomic.
Yeah, remember when
the
people said we wouldn't even make it one?
There was a lot of haters that called you a mark promoter, that said you wouldn't make it 6 months.
Clown shoes, Juggalo boy.
Exactly.
I've heard everything
now,
in one ear and out the other.
Let me ask you this, and then
it's just words.
Then I'm gonna kind of amend to that. But how does it feel going into your 2-year anniversary for Atomic? How does it feel for you? What kind of emotions are you feeling?
I'm feeling a lot of emotions. I'm feeling excitement. I'm feeling a sense of, haha, I told you so, to all the people who said we wouldn't make it past show 1. More than anything, though, I think I'm just feeling thankful because, you know, I always believed this could be something, but hearing everybody talk and say this and that, it kind of starts to get at you and make you question and second guess and doubt, can it happen? And, you know, we've definitely faced quite a few obstacles. From our home originally was the Coco Expo, and they had some bad management there, bad ownership, which that's changed now. I heard that they actually have new ownership. I don't know, but I'm happy where we're at with the Space Coast Convention Center, and to make it to 2 years is one hell of an accomplishment because it's not only proving everybody wrong, but it's saying that we're here for the long run. And the show is titled Chapter 3, The Uprising. And that's because it's starting off our 3rd year as a business, as a company, as a wrestling promotion. And I'm just very thankful. And at the same time, I'm kind of like, ha 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 to everyone. So
thanks for answering my next question, by the way. But we'll move on because
we ain't stopping. This extreme train don't stop.
Alex, let me tell you this. We had some breaking news tonight.
I heard.
At the Real Pro Wrestling Show in Fort Myers tonight. Zach Monstar defended the hardcore title, the Atomic hardcore title, in a fatal 4-way match, which at the end of the match saw former hardcore champion Ray Zion re-obtaining that championship. How does that make you feel, and what does that do for February 15th? Because there's a hardcore match already set.
Do I look surprised?
Of course not, but what does that do for that dynamic that night?
It changes it. I mean, okay. So Ray is what, a 3-time hardcore champion if
Yes.
I add that up correct?
He would be a 3-time.
Is he the
champion.
the most championship reigns for a champion right now?
I would believe he's the first ever 3-time Atomic hardcore champion.
I'm not surprised. I kind of expected it. I don't know. It changes it because we had the original triple threat, which was supposed to be the Sandman, Vertigo, and Zach Monstar, which now is going to have to be a fatal 4-way match, obviously. It changes the landscape of things because it goes to show you that anything can happen anywhere, because this didn't even happen at an Atomic event. This happened down south at Real Pro Wrestling in Fort Myers. Zach's home turf, might I add. Brothers in Arms showed up in his home turf and defeated him.
That's going to make a very interesting dynamic for the main.
Not surprised.
Oh man, I'll tell you. Let me ask you this. Speaking of main events, which we have the Brothers in Arms, Jason and Ray, going against the team of the Dog of War, Jesse Neal.
Is it going to be Ray now though? Because Ray's already in another match. Yeah, he's going to have to compete twice.
Now, there's a dynamic to this. We have a mystery referee, which will not be revealed to the show till show day.
No.
But the other dynamic to this is you have named yourself as special ring enforcer for this match. Can I get some input as to why this decision was made? Why take that chance due to all the adversity you faced with your injuries?
Why would I not be the ring enforcer? You asked me why I made myself ring enforcer in the first place. It's a very, very simple answer. Look back at the history that Brothers in Arms has between their original member Alex Santiago to now Janai. every single time in the beginning of this company's history, Brothers in Arms has found a way. They found a way to interfere, to cheat, to pick up a win. That's why Brothers in Arms is the longest reigning champions in the company's history. Right now, Jason Dugan is actually the longest reigning Atomic Cruiserweight champion in the company's history on top of their tag team title reign. But it's through cheating. So I'm just there to reassure everyone that this is going to be fair, because you know what? There's going to be Jesse Neal and Adam Rose in one corner, Ray Zion and Jason Dugan and Janai in another corner. 3-on-2. That's not fair. I'm there to ensure that if Janai interferes, it's ultimately stopped. And that's all there is to it. Where there's a will, there's a way, but not when you're in my yard.
Well, thank you. I think that's all the questions I have for now. February 15th, Chapter 3, The Uprising. Get your tickets, eventbrite.com, keyword Atomic Wrestling. VIP and ringside are sold out, but plenty of general admission tickets left.
We're Atomic Wrestling. People said we couldn't make it past show 1, and here we are, still selling out.
We are going on 2 years. Thanks, Alex, for your time.
Thank you. I appreciate it, Greg.